Okay, so I've taken a bit of time off. I haven't been doing the daily vlogging type thing, as quite a bit actually has been going on in the LP world, and I've been working on minutes and things like that. But don't really want to mention names because names aren't important, as 2 years from now it won't matter. The situations, in fact, do matter. As you know, I was at a convention last week, and apparently at that convention there was someone going around making comments about one of the female members of that state party to the effect of asking how much she charges men for sex. And a lot of people heard this, and apparently no one, or almost no one, said anything. And when this lady complained to the state chair, she received an email first starting off saying that the chair was not going to be victim blaming and that this person was entirely in the wrong, and then proceeded to turn around and victim blame by telling her that perhaps if she dressed differently, she wouldn't invite such comments. Yes, such things still go on, and they have been going on. This, though, it seems to me, has opened the floodgates, and good, it's about time. There is a sexism problem in the LP. Funny, because I started, and this is getting all crooked, when I started this, now it just went crooked the other way. My OCD's not letting that just be. When I started this whole venture, if you look at the thumbnail, this was before all of this went down at that state convention, where I'd put up a bunch of keywords of, well, not keywords, but things in the thumbnail of things that I hear all the time, and complaining about it myself. There is a problem. Now, that being said, I've never experienced anything as overt as she did. Most of the sexism I experience is quite low-key, and I believe most of it is inadvertent. You know, men and women come at things with different perspectives, and a lot of times men do not understand the way something might be received, and that they didn't mean anything malicious by it. And once it's pointed out, once they're given a different perspective, they're mortified. They're like, oh my God, I never intended that. And I think that's really what most of the discussions need to be. Not out to cancel people, but out to educate and redeem and reform. That does not go for things like, what was she wearing, okay? That's clear. That's bullshit. I know some people thought that was appropriate in an earlier time, and it was an older gentleman that had made this comment, but it was shitty then, even if tolerated, and it's shitty now, and it's not tolerated now. And anyone who's had any experience in the world should know that is completely frickin' inappropriate. But I'm concerned that we're going to treat everything like that. And everything's not like that. There isn't a one-size-fits-all. But I am so proud of our current party chair, Joe Bishop Henchman, who, once he was alerted to this situation, immediately formed a task force. He finally listened to the complaints. Now, most of the complaints have come from women. So I don't want to generalize it, though, as he listened to the women, because I'm sure there are men that have complaints. And as I've said multiple times, I've been sexually harassed for 4 years in this party, blatantly and grossly, and it's not been by a man. So, sexism and harassment is genderless. Women can be victims, women can be perpetrators. Women can and do lie, men can and do lie. We can't go down the route of believe all women. Nope. Trust and verify. You can't believe all nobody. You know, a complainant is an alleged victim, and the person complained about is an alleged perpetrator. And we cannot throw due process out the window, and we cannot engage in witch hunts. And I'm saying that as someone who says there is a real problem. But most people are not problematic. I hate that word, but most people are not the problem. And most of the sexism that goes on is inadvertent. And people just need to be made aware of how things are taken. Like I said, in the past, a comment was said to me about a certain committee that I shouldn't be put on the committee by this one body because my husband will just give it to me. That's a fucking sexist comment. Do I think the person was malicious who said it? No. I don't think they had any idea of how that would be received. But unfortunately, when I brought it up, I was shut down. We didn't even get to have the conversation. And that's the problem. Another blatant problem, you know, only telling my own stories as they're the only ones that are mine to tell. In 2016, and I will say this until something is finally done, at the National Convention, I was physically intimidated, politically intimidated by a very, very large man. I complained at the time, nothing was done. I've been complaining ever since, and the National Party to this day has not officially recognized that it happened or acknowledged it to me in any way, nor have any security protocols been changed, despite the fact that that did happen in front of credible witness. And I did complain at the time it happened. Now, individual people associated with the National Party have apologized, whatever, expressed concern, but there's been nothing official. And the past party chair has never acknowledged that it happened, never apologized for it happening. And I'm going to keep talking about it until I get that. I don't care it was 4 years ago. It happened, and it's going to happen again. No one should fear man or woman. But, you know, let's be real. Generally, men are larger than women, and they can be physically intimidated. And no person of lesser size, let's put it that way, should ever feel physically intimidated at one of our conventions. Man, woman, or whatever anyone may identify as. It's irrelevant. So, yeah, there's an issue. And I've been kind of, you know, taking some time to think about this. And I'm glad it's being brought to light. And in my own state party, there's a lady, I think people are tolerating this because she's not a member. She's a Republican, so I guess it's okay, right? Who's being sexually blackmailed. I brought it up and I was told that's not misogynistic. Okay. That's pretty blatant. You know, it's the same person who called me a cunt, which I think is pretty fucking misogynistic as well. I don't think that's a misunderstanding. So that's where we're at. That's still the state of politics, and I hope the LP handles it better than other organizations and political parties have. We can't be on the purge witch hunt, and we can't sweep it under the carpet. But I'm very hopeful about the task force that was assembled. Some people have complained that the task force is comprised of all women. I do think that that's potentially a problem, that there should have been some men on it. I am very happy to say that there is a trans woman on the task force, which is perfect, because that definitely also needs to be addressed. But I'm so proud that our chair took prompt and swift action that would not have happened last term. My complaints last term were just stop being a troublemaker. So back to minutes, I suppose. Yeah, and this is one of my 2 in the morning rants, expositions. I still have not yet gotten on a healthy sleep schedule. Perhaps that's just a pipe dream and I should stop beating myself up about it, just live my best life. And if my best life is 2 a.m. in the morning, well then so be it. We're not all the same. And that's the beauty of life. Talk to you soon.